You're watching Avenue X, and this is the final review of A Dream Within a Dream. My brain is oversaturated with this drama right now, and I've been staring at 40 episodes of footage, editing my 3-minute edits that I recently just put out on my second channel. In case you haven't seen it, you should go and see it because it's really great. This is basically a conclusion summary video of everything I've experienced during the watch of this drama and what I think of it. Still in points, but they're not in good and bad. They're kind of just in points. So the first thing I want to say is congratulations to this drama for not giving you shitty ending. For a long time, probably over 2 or 3 years, there really hasn't been a super satisfying, highly exhilarating, making audiences go, yes, it's worth our money ending. I really like the heart, but the heart is not supposed to be we're gonna end explosively great because it's a medical drama, right? Like, what do you expect? People can't just grow 2 wings. But everything else in the last 2-3 years really was like, as far back I can remember as Word of Honor. Is it in his dream? Is it real? Leaves it hanging there is really uncomfortable psychologically. Although you like everything else about the drama, that one thing just annoys you, like that tiny gravel in your shoes. Fairy and Devil. They see each other. How did that happen? Why? Like, how long did it take? The last couple of episodes of Fairy and Devil is kind of like not really up to the standard of the previous episodes, let's be honest. The origin drama of A Dream Within a Dream, A Journey to Love, the last couple of also 6 episodes that they asked money for were like diarrhea. Suddenly the paces go crazy. Suddenly people die one after another. Plus that drama in the later episodes do have, in my opinion, certain actors having way too much screen time that they really don't deserve as a character. All the shitstorm that happened around A Journey to Love also made it really complicated for me to even rewatch it because psychologically it's pain. Moving on to A Moment But Forever. Hiya. It's like the file you're downloading, right? You're at the end, it's like 99.9% and the last bit doesn't get done, so the file is incomplete and can't use it. It's been annoying me for 3, 4, 5 years now. Thank heavens we've got a drama that starts crazy and keeps running hilarious and then runs into a little bit serious and very mellow but exciting still, and then give you an ending. It's like, oh my god, this is what I've been waiting for in idol drama land forever. And they give you buy 1 get 3 free. Second, before we say all the good things, I will point out a couple of points to me is like still not satisfying about this drama. I can give it a 3 gold mine, but I wouldn't say it's a perfect 3 gold mine. It's a 3 gold mine with clear problems, but because of what it has overachieved, in my opinion, that it kind of deserves a special place. One tiny point I didn't mention in my first video, but I always see it, and particularly when I start editing it, it becomes even more visually obvious. Everybody gets industrialized standard of that thing that all looks the same and they're ugly, and those are the yellow lights everywhere. So those are definitely electric. Technically they should be candle. I mean, you can LED flicker things now if you want to spend the money, but they just use a stable light that's yellow. In those plasticky light boxes, shining through I don't know what material, but it doesn't look like natural material. They all look in the same highly saturated, bright yellow that is not pretty. And it so often clashes with other colors of your production design, your costume, and whatever makeup. It just doesn't go. It's actually not hard, right, to change the color, but I don't know why so many period dramas have that ugly yellow color. That's a tiny point. The 2 major things I don't like pretty much stay the same. The turning point of the Emperor Father and the 18th Prince, their attitude towards our male lead character literally shifted overnight, or you can say they shifted within a couple of seconds. One scene before that, they still hate him to no ends and want to destroy him. Scene after that is like, suddenly everybody loves him. You have to give me some kind of explanation of why. Either the father was actually faking not liking him for whatever reason because he's a politician, he's thinking about his role and reign, he's like a old fox. But you have to lay me the clues about why he does it and how he did it. Or he's just plain stupid and bad, but then you have to show me that he's stupid and bad consistently. He seems to be an okay emperor doing his job. Somehow, when it comes to not recognizing his 9-year-old couldn't possibly do that kind of thing, and you blame him his entire life, that, like, how ridiculous that is. And also the 18th Prince. I mean, he's set up as a definitely standard, goofy, comedy character, but does not mean earlier on in the drama how nasty he is towards his brother can be explained away. He wasn't hesitating at destroying him on multiple occasions, even literally cutting him with his own sword overnight. Because my daddy thinks you're fine, then I think you're fine too. I'm like, but you are a human And apparently you also have your own ideas about how the world should work, because towards the end of the drama, you'll see the 18th prince does have his own pursuit. And he's a pretty cute character, but that switch point where suddenly from I hate you to I love you happened too quickly. I mean, thank heavens, because the actor, Mr. Zhang, who's been playing emperors and high officials forever in Chinese drama land, he's such an elegant looking, gentleman looking, old, like not that old guy. Therefore, even he plays nasty to his maximum. To some extent, you still kind of can forgive him. If you pick another actor who is not as amiable, this is not gonna work. Okay, people are gonna go riot. That's the most not respecting audiences part of the writing of the whole story, in my opinion. If they can ease that one out, they can reason that better, I wouldn't really complain about anything anymore, okay? Just that one thing is too much. Then the other thing would be, yeah, still the director. Is Guo Hu the worst director of idol dramas? I don't think so. There are worse ones currently working in China. I still repeat my point is, if the director of Guardian and The Journey to Love, or the director of all those short dramas plus Blossom, if they were directing this drama, it would be even better than now. Because there are directors, when you watch their work, you know before they go on a set, they already have the thing in their head. So they'll be very efficient at working. They probably can shorten the production time. This drama actually took 4 months and 11 days to shoot, which is quite long. I think Blossom, a shorter drama for sure than this one, but it took a month and a half. That shows you the director never wasted any time. If for the scene, early parts, we don't need close-up, we're not gonna shoot it. We're just gonna go straight to the second one, save time. Also, at what point we need extreme close-up of hand, of face, of look, of our eye, how we're gonna lit the scene, when we're gonna slow-mo it. I know in editing room, I'm gonna put music here, I'm gonna make the light do something, and then so the camera needs to now move on a track or a crane. Like all those things need to come from somebody. Basically, they have vision of words. They see words and then they see picture and they know exactly what they want and what is the best style for this drama. If it's done by a director who has that ability, you can tell when you see the final product. A dream within a dream. Although it's not bad, okay? They didn't go with crazy desaturated color, no skin texture. They didn't go with any of those bad habits, which I highly appreciate. But still you can say there's very little design. Personally, as a director, in your vision, how to amplify the emotional energy of your scene with your skill, with your design of shots, with your timing of everything, what you want to let the audiences see at every second. With that ability, I cannot see much in this drama. And this becomes very apparent and obvious when I start editing it. There are many occasions where ideally for that sequence of storytelling, you need a shot that looks like that, from that angle, with that speed, with that lighting condition, and with that type of acting, because that's perfect for the emotion of that moment, and it doesn't have it. There are many things that just doesn't have the perfect shot. If you edit yourself, you may get what I mean. Although I enjoyed it a lot, I also get frustrated a lot because I just don't get what I want. I'm not gonna go into details. First, I don't have time. Second, if I have to literally lap in, which is going through every scene and every second, every sequence and every cut of a drama, you need to pay me. I guess you just can't have everything perfectly lined up. Now, good things only now from this point. We're gonna talk about the ending for sure and how I understand it, and there's no definitive right answer for it. And I think that's the intention of the drama. First, in terms of the world structure, I think it's pretty clear that at least there are 2 layers of the world existing in the story, and you can say maybe there are 3. The 2 being initial script called 清宁一梦, which is a crappy idol drama in which there are all the period drama characters. There's no contemporary person in it, and the contemporary person is in the second layer of the world, played by Li Yitong as the Song Xiaoyu actress. She lives in the second layer of the world, where the period drama world is in the print form. She goes into it, experiences it, changes it, and she comes out of it. She's still in her world, which is a world that has a script. But you do notice when she comes back eventually, the script changes. It doesn't have the original name. It changes into 书卷一梦, which is the title of the drama. Now that begs the question whether actually when at the end of the drama, when she wakes up in the contemporary world, it's already a 3rd layer world where it always has only been 书卷一梦. Within the 书卷一梦, the story is there is a 清宁一梦 and she enters it. Is Song Xiaoyu in the 2nd layer world? Is she in the 3rd layer world? Is the world at the end our world, or is it still in the script? At the end of the last episode, just before the titles, you do see the female scriptwriter typing the story out, and that is the drama we see. So you can argue she lives in our world, but you do also see her world glitches and time goes back and she retypes things, which means her world can be changed and rewritten too. Now that begs the question whether she exists in our reality or is she also a story written by other people. Now, however you want to believe it, because she does get a phone call from the director, who is actually the director of our drama. That may be the storytellers playing basically a joke about they think our world currently living, Avenue X, making YouTube video you're watching, you're breathing in this world is also written by someone else. So these things can all be interpreted however you like. There really isn't a confirmed answer. I think that's their intention, because in the drama, you would see this scene between Nan Heng and Song Yimeng when they are sleeping, and he is suggesting to her, have you ever thought that you might also be a paper person? You may be written by other people. And she's like, oh yeah, maybe we're all living in the Russian doll universe where one layer, another layer, everybody is written by someone else. I think that's basically the idea of the whole story. So you're never going to find out that exactly who is living on what level. But I think there's one thing you can be sure, which is don't worry about whether the male lead actually eventually came out of the story and ended up as the actor when they meet at the end, because nobody ever physically traveled through multiple layers of reality. They only consciously traveled. Song Xiaoyu consciously traveled as Song Yimeng. She's not physically traveling between those spaces. So if Nan Heng, spiritually as a soul, as a consciousness being, if he travels to Song Xiaoyu's world, he would also only be doing it in a consciousness way, not a physical way, which would mean pretty much the actor guy we see in episode 1, he is Nan Heng. He's just the same person, you can say the same being on different levels of reality and existence. And only the consciousness that moved from one to another becomes aware of both existence. So you can say at the end, this person who always just is this being now is simultaneously aware of his contemporary existence and his book existence. I think that probably is the best explanation you can get. And there are even people arguing about whether from episode 1 already, the contemporary actor guy who always wears sunglasses and doesn't show his eyes, he actually is already the male lead in the book. His consciousness has already moved here, but her consciousness hasn't gone into the book and had the experience yet. So she doesn't recognize him, but he does, and he doesn't go introduce himself to her because he knows it's gonna be useless. She's not aware yet. And there are clues too, like you can interpret the actions, although very little and limited in the first episode, of Liu Yuning's character as a contemporary person. He got out of the story too early, or time actually doesn't line up in different realities, making him already experience the whole thing in the script, coming up to the reality, realizing she hasn't gone into it yet. Therefore, he basically has to wait. All up to interpretation, all works. I actually really appreciate that. I think it's already been done at the best they can. Another thing to suggest this always has been their intention is if you go back to last year when they started shooting, they sent out a start to shoot vlog, and it's a really interesting video where Li Yitong shows up first as a contemporary person walking on the set and meeting directors who are shooting the photo shoots of the drama. And if you notice, it's Guo Hu, the director. He turns around and he calls Li Yitong Song Xiaoyu. So almost from day one, when they promoted this drama, they already are playing the game of they are in which layer of the world. They're not in this reality we live in, they're in the story already. You're watching basically, they're filming the Shu Juan Yimeng script, which Shu Juan Yimeng is a contemporary person going into the Qingling Yimeng story. It's a pretty cool thing, and you wouldn't realize that until you've watched the drama a year later. It shows you that they're very diligent of keeping their story real to themselves. And also, this leaves a lot of space for interpretation. If the guy got out of the book actually earlier than the girl got in the book, then it gives you huge potential of a sequel drama. The next thing that's great about this type of ending is buy one, get three free, like I said. Let's be honest, for every audience member who goes into idol period dramas, there are classic things that just have to happen in those ways. Those torture-heavy, melodramatic, tears flying, blood flying. People dig it. They don't make sense in reality, but they have to be shot in that way in a drama because that's what we are looking for. It's like people get stabbed and then the blood comes out of their mouth like a fountain, and you know actually it doesn't work like that in reality, because places you get stabbed, you never cough out blood, but you die, right? So, but in the drama, right, wherever people get stabbed, they just, but that's what audiences want. If they don't do that, it's gonna look weird, and also it doesn't give you enough information in visual to suggest that this person is hurt. For this drama, they basically give you a clever setup of all the tropes that happens due to the fact that it's a bad script and it has to happen. And then the characters are forced to play through it whether they like it or not. So you're gonna see all of what you want to see, but you're not feeling that sense of, yeah, it's crappy drama, it's tropes again. You still see it, but you see it from a different kind of perspective, therefore it becomes acceptable and even funny. This would allow all the audiences, after watching the 36-7 episodes, right, we already have this love for their main characters. There are multiple ways it can go, so the drama actually goes to all the multiple ways. They crank it up all to 110%. They play through multiple scenarios. Episode 37, one version, they fail. Episode 38, they fail again in a different way. Episode 39, they figured out what was wrong and eventually got it done in the right way, and they succeeded, and it's celebration. It satisfies your need to see our leads triumph because they deserve it. It also satisfies that secret, sort of a more dark desire of everyone, is like to see people get tortured in the most dramatic way. And you allow a space for the audiences to grieve and to feel that emotional energy and not yet suffer the consequences, because she wakes up next day and she can do it again. And it also creates more even emotional, sort of really lovely scene when she wakes up first time after they both died. The next day is episode 38 and she goes around the mansion trying to find him. When he is completely confused and she's like exploding with tears, it adds that opportunity, because if they don't set up the story like this, you're not gonna get it. So basically, episode 37, 38, 39, 40, it's like buy one, get three free. Everything you can imagine for the story. Good, bad, happy ending, bad ending, they all give you. It has that intense, not caring about consequences, playful energy that runs through this drama, that you don't get a negative effect of all types of taking themselves too serious idle period drama with a tragic ending. Often for those dramas, when you watch the whole thing, you feel not only it's very down energy, also sometimes you feel all the tragedies that's written by the script to some extent is very, very forcing it to happen. Too intentionally designed, too pretentious, self-aware, all that. But this type of story in A Dream Within a Dream very, very successfully and skillfully cancel out the bad effects of way too serious, tragic, romantic idol period drama, but yet it gives you everything you want from those drama, because the actors are literally play it to full, take it 100% serious, yet they erase it. And also because overall the undertone of this drama is a farce comedy. It's super bonkers and hilarious and not making sense actually and going crazy. Therefore, it balances out the too much of a seriousness of really tragic endings of those two versions when they died. If you just want the sad part, you can just watch episode 37 and 38 and never click open 39. You have also the opportunity to enjoy shitty endings in terms of like they lose and they die. And the other great thing about this ending is I love the fact that the first time they failed, they try to figure out what's wrong. They try to change something, yet they still fail again in a second time. And by the third time, they were like, there's something missing that we didn't do right and it caused our failure. And they figured out is they don't have enough people. So they went for Wandering Earth option, which is get everyone on board. Everybody who exists in the script world, even when they're just called Pedestrian A and Pedestrian B, who are the fillers of the backdrop, the extras. They got all those people in the story and come together with their weapons, with their dogs, with whatever sticks they find. And then the whole city's people gathered to stop the tragedy from happening. I don't know for other people, right, from other cultures, this is like such a thing for Chinese people to see, because we often compare stories written in Hollywood style of heroic storytelling and in Chinese version. What's the essential difference? The ending of this drama provides you of a very Chinese perspective, which is 发动群众, motivate the crowd, because ultimately history is actually written by everybody who lived in the time. It's everyone's effort put together. Although you always often just see one or two very important historical figures, heroes or bad people showing up on the top, but it would be kidding yourself to think that it's just because of these 2, 3, 5 people's effort and whatever they've done that really changed the course of history. Because they also come from people. They are supported and they exist because the rest of the humans exist at the time. After watching the whole drama, I'd say there are three major things if I have to elicit from the story. First, we kind of already mentioned, which is the discussion on a very philosophical level of what is reality. Can you be sure that the life you're leading right now is real? Can I be sure that my life is completely up to my every whimsical ideas in every second? Is it following a script that I'm not even aware of, yet I'm always on track and willingly doing it? Whole drama, you can look at it as a discussion of what is reality. Second great thing is the whole idea about prejudice. This whole story is about prejudice, and if you want to be more specific, it's about the prejudice against the male lead in the story that comes out of honestly nowhere, unsubstantiated by any proof and evidence, yet everyone believes in it. Somehow, if something gets repeated too many times, it becomes true. And how he could triumph over that. Like I said, this is a revenge drama of a journey to love. And it's pretty clear that you can just switch Nan Heng to Liu Yuning. The level of ridiculous things people make up about him, because I've said that in my live stream and in many other videos, I'm not gonna go into details here, but I have the feeling that this whole script is made after what has happened to Journey to Love, and the people who loved Journey to Love cannot stand the unfair treatment the drama got, so they got together, created a story that's specifically designed to talk about people who gets literally wronged their whole life. And the last thing I would say is, if you have to elicit from the story's message that's tied into the first two things, would be you always have a choice to be your own owner of your life. You don't have to follow anything that other people set up for you. You always have a choice, and depending on how, I guess, extensively you've woken to destiny, you actually always have a choice. And it is encouraging everyone to go and truly think about your life and who you are and your values and what kind of life you want to lead. So all those things are great, and I think this drama has done a far better job than I could ever hoped. Ultimately, every step of the way, I got entertained. If the story doesn't entertain you as a story on the very surface level, even when it does have great messages contained, no one will bother to listen to it. So this drama succeeded at multiple levels, and given, like I said, the very bad industry environment right now of Chinese drama making since 2023, the fact that they did this whole thing within 4-5 months, probably like 4.5 months, from the moment they probably decide to do it to the point where they start shooting, it's already incredible. I've spent so much time on my live stream talking about I'm so happy for Liu Yuning. So I guess like at the end of this, I'll just add a little bit more. A lot of people who got into this industry as actors come from very limited stream of origins, right? They either are always the art students who get trained since they were very little, or they're already kid actors. And then they go to those exams of those major acting schools like the Beijing Film Academy, Central Theater, Shanghai Theater. They end up being a graduate of 4-year program, and then they do dramas. That's like one classic way. There are a couple of other schools that are not as prestigious, but they also have those programs, and often you get like people who are from communication universities who are, for example, in anchoring, broadcasting kind of major. They also move to acting. There's another stream of people who are like in dancing schools who end up being actress, like Li Yitong and quite a lot of other actresses. There are also people who come from idol selection, and a couple of years ago this was popular in China. Now we don't have that many such things going on, but there used to be this whole iQIYI and Tencent package of people who got through that and then ended up in acting too. You also have like another group of people who are like nepo baby, second, third generation of families who are always in business and industry, and they kind of get green card and then they don't need to do much and they would end up with roles. Pretty much that's it. Like think about all the streams of people coming into this industry in front of the camera. I'm not saying behind the camera. In that world, he really comes out as having a way different background person with years of working in the real world, being in service, being a chef, being a waiter, being all those things, and not getting to fame until pretty much into his 30s. And before that, he was nobody, right? He didn't even enter, let's say, the entertainment business until after he divorced his first marriage. So he's like way too old actually to be famous. For the general sort of consensus of the industry is the earlier you get famous, the better. But he got famous way too old. He kind of already jumped over the highly volatile and potentially bad years for young people to get famous too quickly. And then he's done so much other works that usually famous actors and celebrities and singers, they never had an opportunity to do in their life. They never had a day where they don't have any money left in their bank account, or they don't have even money for lunch, which I think in his live stream he mentioned the worst time was he doesn't even have money for lunch, so he would just pretend he went out having lunch to his colleagues, but he never actually ate anything, and he would just come back 20 minutes later and pretending. Like those kind of experiences, right? How many actually idol drama actors can you think of in Chinese drama land would ever even lived through that kind of, and then got old enough to know how the world works and deal with people? So he kind of combines characteristics from so many like normal people, people who are not celebrities, who do like 2 jobs and then who have kids and who's married or being beaten down by life in different ways, who know how to survive in reality, and combines his professional skills and how he pushed himself to become a singer. Therefore, I think he is at the stage where you really cannot find another person that's in any way similar. He's just too oddball as a typical celebrity actor of Chinese entertainment. Therefore, I almost don't know how to predict his future. Who knows what he's gonna do? He apparently does like acting a lot, so I think he's gonna keep acting. In terms of where he's gonna go, once after Idol, period drama has become too way oversaturated for him too, like whether he's gonna move to something else, like what he can do. Honestly, like he is also quite limited by his physical appearances, because you cannot make him shorter. Okay, and you cannot make him younger too. The fact that he looks like that would limit him to quite a lot of roles, but then who knows? There are so many ways of making content these days. Potential of technology advancement in 1 decade, things are gonna go to where we never expected, I'm pretty sure. Content can take on even more forms than what we know now. He makes me excited. He makes me feel there's living, breathing, real humans in this industry who are at least reliable. You know where they are, they know where they are. When you sign a contract with him and ask, this is what I want, pretty sure you're gonna get delivered with that quality stuff. Not to mention, he really did a great performance in this drama, and surprisingly, I'd say one quality of him in idol period drama that currently no other male actors have in Chinese dramaland would be he can balance super fragile and heartbreaking sort of like softness with masculinity. He can actually wear huge amount of eyeshadow and not looking feminized at all. It's like he's still very, very male, but then he's delicate, right? And I can't think of another guy who actually combines that quality so well as of now in Chinese idol period drama land. I've said so much in this video already, and I'm really happy this drama existed. If you haven't watched it, you should. And I'm still editing. I'm just letting you people know. I still want to edit too, but I don't know if I can actually finish both of them. I have more new dramas I have to watch that I actually don't have heart to do right now, yet I have to. I suffer every day when I don't want to watch other things. I would just want to rewatch this drama and edit my stuff, but then I have to watch it because I have to keep the channel running, and I only have one head. This is the time when I really want to have 2 heads. Anyway, that's it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Meanwhile, live long and happy drama watching.